and with the U.S. Attorney's Office team. And she's in a good place. She's pleased that, again, that the jury has found him liable, or since guilty of 2 federal crimes.
What was her reaction?
And I've issued a statement as well on our Twitter as well. Her reaction is what I just said. Her reaction was that she was pleased that he's been found guilty and held responsible of 2 federal crimes, something that he's never been held responsible in his entire life. She's happy that in November of 2023, she came forward and shined a light on this and brought other people forward who has various civil claims, and so we'll see what happens. He still faces substantial jail time. Of course, we would have liked to have seen a conviction on the sex crimes in RICO, but we understand beyond a reasonable doubt is a high standard.
Legal analysts have framed the split jury decision as an absolute win for Combs and his defense team.
Absolutely a win. The defense took a really big gamble going to trial on this case. Really, any time that a defendant chooses to go to trial against the federal government, it's a big gamble. They have a lot in their favor, and it really paid off for Combs. The difficulty that I saw for the prosecution in this case was this continued coming back to the idea of there being this criminal enterprise. So there didn't really seem to be any question that Combs was engaging in behavior that we that certainly might in some instances be criminal, but the question was, could the government really show that there was this criminal enterprise? And that appears to be, and in fact was, where they fell short, because the jury said, no, there's not enough here.
The trial focused on allegations that Combs used his business empire to force 2 romantic partners, including Ventura, into sex-fueled, days-long freak-offs or sexual performances with male escorts, with Combs watching and filming, among other things. Defense lawyers argued that while Combs did engage in drug use and domestic violence, the accusations that he was a criminal gang leader and sex trafficker went too far.
One thing that the defense team did right was they embraced what I call the bad facts, right? So instead of fighting against everything, instead of, taking that awful video from the hotel and saying, it's not what you think it is, he's not hurting her. They said, they took responsibility on Combs' behalf and said, we take responsibility for this behavior. This was wrong. This was not right. And in fact, if this case was a domestic abuse case, we wouldn't be sitting here because he is guilty of that. But let us point you to all the places where the government has not met its burden. And that's where they were clearly very successful.